Okay, good morning. Welcome to
Number 744.
FamliyMath744. So today we're going to talk about machine learning and one aspect of machine learning called classification. Do you know anything about machine learning?
We did a couple of projects on it.
All right. What do you remember?
So we did one thing where there was a game called like mini chess, and we programmed like a robot or like a matchbox to.
Yeah. The game. Actually, the game was called Hexapon. Okay.
And we programmed the robot we were making to play it really well.
Yeah.
By choosing moves and getting rid of the ones that it lost from.
Yeah, that's right. So Hexapon was a really fun game, and I'll link that in the blog post where we didn't have a computer. We just had boxes of marbles, basically.
Yeah.
And red and blue marbles told you to do, one thing or another.
And it basically went randomly.
And we would go through it, and every time if it won, we kept the machine the same. If it lost, we removed the marble that gave us the bad move from the machine, and fairly quickly, like after 10 rounds, the machine was very good at Hexapon.
Yeah.
And a Google subsidiary called DeepMind just did the same thing with chess, and maybe beat the best computer in the world in some sense.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that. All right, what are some other things you remember?
Well, it's kind of like a random process in machine learning.
Okay.
It starts out random, but then fairly quickly you find like a good strategy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It seems it does. It seems like you're just proceeding kind of randomly, and then all of a sudden it sort of works magically. And I don't think anyone knows for sure why this all works, actually. So that might be a pretty good description. So what we're going to do today is we're going to study. Actually, can you grab a different color marker too? So we're going to study a simple problem using another Google program called TensorFlow, and the idea is going to be to have a computer program. Hopefully, this is good enough with a different color. Oh yeah. Hopefully we're going to be able to use this program. We're not going to learn how the program works, but we're going to use this program to learn how to classify data. So maybe my purple dots were cats and my brown dots were dogs, and I wanted to teach the computer to tell the difference between a cat and a dog. What do you think you could do if this is what the data looked like?
Well, you could sort of draw a box around the cats.
Okay.
And say everything in that box is a cat.
Good idea. One thing you could do is you could draw a box around the cats and tell the computer everything inside that box is a cat, and then everything outside of that box is a dog. Do you have a different idea of what you might be able to do? That's a good idea.
Well, if they were sort of mixed more, you could move all the cats to one side, all the dogs to one side, and then say like everything on the left is a cat, everything on the right is a dog.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, well, you're not allowed to move your data. Your data is whatever your data is, so you can't mess with it. So you can't move it, and you don't know ahead of time. But your idea of everything on the left and everything on the right being one thing or the other is a good idea, and that is the equivalent of just
drawing a line
down there and saying, here we go.
Yeah.
Everything on this side is did I call these cats?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and everything on this side is a dog. Yeah, and that's what the computer's going to learn how to do. And I'm just going to, for just a very brief introduction, tell you a little bit about what's happening behind the scenes.
All right.
Okay.